what is right. Guide our governor, Dr. so that I can be able to do what is right. And guide our chairman, Prince Olabi Poroye, so that I can do what is right in the sight. Lord, do this to us. Do this for us. As we are praying,
our project is a distinguished professional with multidisciplinary background, an accomplished security expert, a consultant, and a policy advisor, Dr. Johnson Olujimi Kufo. For the records, he is the Executive Director of Finance, Malom Adekule Oba. The local government, he is Honorable Bayo Adifoshi. I also
that is only a madman that lightens his lantern, puts it under the table. And what you refuse to advertise will be advertised the day you will sell it. So for us, we believe in showcasing to the world what God has helped us to do, and especially through the approval of Mr. Governor. When we came on board in the middle of June, before we got here, we have clear direction, vision and passions for what we are going to do, what we need to do, and how to do it. And we are so strategic in our calculations. So, the first thing we put to heart was the fact that whatever we are going to be doing in this commission is going to be a collective team. Yes, we have a chairman, we have a CEO, but we decided that we are going to be staff friendly, especially when even most of them were even my friends before I came here. You know, we have been doing political boyo outside there, Kapo and all kinds of things. Now Kapo is the chairman, and you see Shola will put his hand at his back and say, "My chairman." And then let's leave all this, my chairman. Let's do things as we feel should be. So the first thing we did was to come down to the level of everyone we want to work with and say, let's operate as friends. Let staff have access to their boss. Let staff have access to their leader. Let staff have access to their friend and their colleague. Let's, exchange ideas, correct ourselves, and move forward. For me, that was a great feat that we started with, and we have been going in that direction. Of course, our agenda can never be separated from Mr. Governor's agenda. The easiest way to put Mr. Governor's agenda is laughter. He has come to put laughter on the faces of the people of the state. But you will agree with me that it does not matter how strategic you may be in this direction, there will still be some obstructions, some distractions, and some oppositions. And so far so good, we have been able to take care of those ones, and we are moving forward. When we came on board, the first thing we tackled was a litigation we met on ground. It was a case of one of the Osopadec company, the commercial angle of Osopadec, Coastville and Osopadec. They were in court, and of course, lawyers will eat. And when I checked through record, I felt that this is going to cost about 100 million. And even if we continue, we are not too certain that the next 3-4 years will be off the court. So what we did was to interact with all parties and now see how this can be solved without shooting an arrow. And by the grace of God, the concern of Osopadec at that time was that they had a company registered, and those that are leading the company were in the minority of the shareholding. And why should Osopadec, being the higher shareholder in the minority, and somebody that have less shares will be the one leading? And of course, if you make an administrative problem, it may be difficult for you to correct if you are not too careful. So we have to apply some level of maturity and add some lobby to it. By the grace of God today, I'm glad to announce to us that Cosby is back to Osopadec. Matters solved, and we have asked our lawyer that we are not interested in any case. Of course, why should we be in court again when you ask someone to drop what is holding and you drop it? So God helped us to achieve that without wasting too much of resources in that direction. When we took over, we also saw, we met an Osopadec without a solid foundation. Yes, there were a lot of restructuring and amendments that have been done to the system. This is the first Osopadec that we have the chairman and 2 executive directors, and that has given a new face to Osopadec. But for us, we knew that Osopadec have a budget of about 33 billion. And if you will agree with me, you will know that just one contract in the riverine area will consume the entire 33 billion. Just one contract. So at times when people celebrate 33 billion, I laugh, because it's not up to one contract. There's one of our contract we are just coming for STB now that is going for 21 billion. So if you put that to out of that 3, how much is left? So we felt that we will need helps from interventionist agencies. And in addressing and in approaching them, they kept on asking for certain information. Where is your baseline report? You go to international community, you go to some of these interventionist agencies, they will ask for baseline report. Everyone that want to give this money needs checks and balances. So the next thing we did was to quickly put up a structure to get us a baseline report. I am glad to announce to the world today that Osopadec today, if not the first in the state, have gotten a baseline report. What are we going to do with this baseline report? Yes, we go for stakeholders meeting where people come up to talk. It's going to be formatting, because everything you need to know about the mandate area, the topography, the categories of people, the water system, the ecosystem, everything is already put together in the baseline report. If today we want to go to the world, Netherlands, Brazil, America, we have an instrument to speak to that will showcase to the world, and those that want to help us will quickly come to our aid. We have been able to achieve that without much delay. We met on grant a lot of abandoned projects. Abandoned projects that are old enough to get married and possibly have grandchildren. We also met on grant several ongoing projects. And I pleaded with our members that please, it is better we settle some of these abandoned projects and ongoing projects before we start thinking of new ones. Because the reality of the point is that I have seen leaders coming to say, even me, I want to start something and do it. Let them know that I'm the one that start this project and complete this project. Who tells you you will complete a project if God does not back you up, if the resources is not there? And we went to a community, I think it was Mahi, we went to Mahi, we met 4 abandoned projects in a particular school. You can imagine the size of that school should not have more than 2 buildings. Now we met 4. This tenure came. He met one. Instead of completing that one, he went and started his own. Another 2 came. Instead of continuing, he too started his own. And we said, no, we are not going to go in that direction. Because 1 will be wasting resources, and 2 will be adding to their problems. Let's start solving the problems we met on ground. We met a 24 set of scholarship and bursary award. We tackled that within 1 month, and our willing and active governor gave approval to it, and that was paid within 1 month of our resolution. We wrote to Mr. Governor that we needed to tour the entire mandate area. Up to now, I must confess to you, I have not been to all the community. Thank God for the baseline report that is helping me to get some things, because if we keep going to all these communities, at least for the next 3 months, I will not be able to do much. So, those few communities we were able to visit and looking at the terrain and everything, we started looking at those projects. When we got to Agadagogo, we met an hospital ongoing that have been there for the past 15 years. And I must tell you, Osopadec is having one of the best set of staff that are active, willing, and ready to work. Anytime, any day you give them assignment, you call them. Yesterday, some of them were in my personal office. As at 11 o'clock, we are still working. So I directed that Agadagogo Hospital has to be completed. I'm glad to announce to us that today, what we are thinking of is how to equip that hospital. It's perfectly done. It's for us to equip the hospital and also work on the external area of the hospital. Gentlemen of the press, we are here to reel out what we have done. We met about 21 primary public schools and secondary on ground, and we insisted that every of those projects must be completed. I can tell you that they have all attained completion stage because their money is in this system. The money is in this system. If there's anyone that is yet to be handed the key over to us, because the contractor he believes he can use his money. So all these 21, we did not get them abandoned. We approached them and we are getting them completed. Yes, we looked at the teachers and the staff welfare. Osopadec is about the richest commission in the state. But when we came on board, we saw poverty everywhere on the faces of our staff. I cannot even see any chairman on the ground, whether they want borrowed or brought, in a way. And we operate within an oil cycle commission. For me, that was not too good. And I told them, the staff, that things will wear a new look. And we met with Mr. Governor, and he fought for us. And he said, Mr. Chairman, you have my backing. Whatever you think can make the people happy, please go ahead to do. And the first thing we tackled was that we checked through records and we could see that our people collectively have not been attending or participating or grading conferences, seminars, and trainings. And I said, if we are going to get more money, we'll get it. Every staff of the commission must be upgraded. Upgraded through their brain, their exposures. I'm sorry. There are some people who have a phobia for flying aeroplane. But the truth is, some have never get closer to the airport before we got here. Officers of the commission since we got there. We have gotten a robust staff welfare package for them, capacity training for management and staff, construction of Agadabaobo SLD, renovation of 21 public primary and secondary schools across Nigeria and SLD. Ongoing 13 of those schools have been completed. Electrification of Ilumeji, Aziz of Ilaje, Egbegure, Bolome, Igbobi. That Aziz, that's where I come from. Wow. That's where I come from. Before Agagu, that Aziz had been enjoying electricity. But somehow, Nigeria problem came, and from then, the Aziz has been in the dark. And when we came on board, based on the directive of Mr. Governor, we moved to that area because the Obas were calling on him. And we discovered that all we need to fix lights there is just 2 minutes. But no matter how small the money may be, it must come. All the consultancy job has been done, and this paper is before the ODPP. God willing, as we enter January, that Aziz we have light. God see Mr. Governor. Installation of 5 numbers of 500 kVA and 300 kVA transformers in Apoto and various locations in Igbokoda, they are all completed. Reclamation and shoreline protection of Obela. By our style, when we came on board, Osopadec attracts a lot of noise because of the name and the expectations of people and contractors. So contractors were coming, indicating that they want to work for us. And because of past failures, we were concerned. We were concerned about whatever we are going to be doing. So we designed a strategy that any contractor that want to handle any sophisticated project for us must invite us to their site to inspect their yard and equipment and take us to similar projects they have done. And Osopadec, rather than spending their money on visiting their site, it is the contractors that is inviting us. We'll take care of our transportation, we'll move around, we will invite them to come and see the terrain we want to work on their own cost. On their own cost. My journey to Ghana, journey to China, our journey to Asaba, Lagos, and so many places. 1 kobo for Osopadec is not there. We were able to save all those money. Because for us, in Osopadec, any journey, any civil servant make here, there's a little money attached to it. And before you know it, this thing runs in millions. And you can imagine for somebody that want to sponsor me to China or to Ghana, me that like good thing, that will choose my kind of hotel, if the commission will not be able to pay. So the strategy really work. And when we discuss with Mr. Governor, just give us a no, that's my boy, you are doing a good job. Today, among the projects that are very strategic to Mr. Governor is the reclamation of Obela community. I can assure and I can announce to us that Mr. Governor are giving approval to the commencement of that project. The consultancy for where to get the sand has been done, and we are in the process of awarding that project. Every community in the riverine area, both in Nigeria and Esodo, are going to be reclaimed. When we move around with what we saw, we only need more money. Within 3 years, we can reclaim the entire region. Within 3 years, with more money. And the sand we need is already in the sea. It's right there in the sea. So the governor is willing, is determined, and the advantage of this is that, for example, we are doing walkway. I will get the concrete walkway at Obela, and we are spending close to 3 billion on that project. If the land is reclaimed, we will not need to waste such money. We will not need to waste such money. 3 billion will have, if will have go a long way to do the design of almost the region. So those are what we are trying to avoid as we move on. Reclamation of Ayetoro and other communities. Yes, let me be clear, because a lot of people have called me and what are you doing about Ayetoro? In fact, what is of concern to the riverine people of Ilaje is protection of Ayetoro. And there's no big deal about the challenges in Ayetoro. There's no big deal. It's just a big deal of foresight. We know what to do. We are clear about the solution. But the federal government is also showing interest. And they have been on this for some months, if not since last year. So we have the opinion that we should give them some time. So if they are unable to implement what they have planned for us, I can assure that by next year we'll start the project in Ayetoro. We have to save Ayetoro, because once Ayetoro further fails, the entire riverine area is gone. Even our water project at Abuto today is already tasting salt. So you saving Ayetoro is not that you are helping Ayetoro people. Even the water in the Kale will be polluted. The water in the Odigbo will be polluted. So we are conscious of this reality that Ayetoro has to be protected. The place has to be saved so that the entire area will have a better time to live. Yes, the construction it gave us between now and December next year. And I'm glad to announce to us that so far so good since we came on board, we have achieved 45% on that road. 45% of that. But some of my engineers are just coming in because we have to do review of the contract. We are just coming from tender board to ensure. We are believing God that between now and December next year, when you are going to Atijere, you will navigate through that road and everybody will be happy. Yes, construction of 1,000 meters, I've talked about that at Obela. If not for the little infrastructural accident, we will be able to say the project is fully completed. But in the process, we have a little accident. We have to bring in the expert to run the test and to continue. That walkway today is 85% completed. 85% achieved. Sorry. School of Maritime Transport and Logistics at Ugbo. The Osopadec decided to partner with Osopadec to have an institution in the Niger land. And we decided to request for a faculty. And one of the conditions is that we should provide these infrastructures for them. And past leadership started this project. And when we came on board, we saw how laudable it is. Rather than getting it abandoned, we moved to site. And I can announce to us today that that project is 85% achieved. 85% achieved. Just as I've said, the 3 commissions, student hostels at Osopadec, AAU, Rufus Giwa Polytechnic, Mr. Governor are given approval that we should continue with those projects and get it completed. Now, we were able to, in a way, despite the fact that we were not thinking of starting a new project, but we also saw the need to do so. And among those one that we saw the need to do was about 13 projects, 12 projects. Construction of naval security checkpoint with concrete jetty at we awarded it and we have mobilized the contractor. Construction of naval security checkpoint with concrete jetty at Bihan, we awarded it and we have mobilized the contractor. Construction, if you are clapping, clap very well. Kike, why are you not clapping? Construction of naval checkpoint with concrete jetty at Apata boundary. Awarded and mobilized. Construction of police security checkpoint with concrete jetty at Odoyibo. Environ. Supply of 4,000 chairs and tables across schools in Osopadec mandate area. We have paid for that. The validation and reward of 1 kilometer township road at Sabome. We have just completed that today. And the upward review of mini water scheme and treatment plant at Molutei. It was reviewed and has been paid for. And the community listing, identification of the mandate areas. Let me explain this. You that are your plan, it's very easy for you to say I'm going to Arakale, and somebody will say come to so street. Unlike us in the riverine area, if you go to the riverine area, it will be difficult for you to know which community is this. And we felt that we should also list, we should do community listing, signposts to let them know that this is a particular community. When you are going there, you will not have much problem. Is that not good? And completion and of the external work of the Umuru International Market at Odobo. That's how been completed. Construction of concrete sedimentation tank of 2 million gallons per day. The water treatment plant at Abuto. We faced it, we confronted it, and we got it achieved. We also reviewed the external work for skill acquisition center, the one I talked about. All these we're able to do as new project within this 6 months that we came to board. We have also organized retreat for the board members. They now know their rights, and that is why everybody is still asking for more. I wish we did not do the might not be able to achieve all this if we did not have a supportive boss. I need to let you know that there's no performing chairman of Osopadec anywhere. It is the governor. If the governor did not approve your concept, there's nothing you can do. And I want to appreciate Mr. Governor. Honestly, except if there are are errors or spellings of conceptions of ideas. Hardly there's any proposal I've ever taken before the governor that he will not give approval. So the development of the mandate area is to his heart. One of the things we are looking forward to do next year, because I know we will get there, is that Osopadec want to own his own schools and his own hospitals. We want to have our own schools and our own hospitals. For example, Osopadec recruited teachers in hundreds, and we are the one paying. But it is sad that our teachers in those public schools cannot become principal, cannot become head teacher, because they were not recruited by TESCOM or by Super. And yet we are the one paying. And we want our staff to get to the peak of their career. So in the coming year, God helping us, we will be starting